Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something really cool. We are diving deep into the actual mechanics of human perception. We're going to deconstruct this profoundly layered, translated Hindi poem that literally dismantles how our minds construct reality. We're going to explore exactly why human perception creates illusion, and how our brains basically take a unified universe and chop it up into fragmented, bite-sized pieces just so we can process it.
All right, so let's kick things off with the absolute core paradox of our source text. A mind in illusion, an illusion in the mind. The author is pulling no punches here, right from the get-go. This single line introduces this crazy recursive trap. Our human perception is entirely responsible for generating the very illusions that keep our minds confined. We're essentially stuck in a cage where both the bars and the prisoner are made entirely out of our own thoughts. Section 1. The mind's grand illusion, the cyclical trap of perception. Before we get too deep, we really need to pin down the vocabulary this poem uses. There are two main forces going head-to-head here. First up is Brahm, which basically means illusion. But, and this is absolutely crucial, in this context, it specifically means the mind's deceptive perception of separation. This completely false idea that you and I, or objects in their environment, are actually distinct, separate things. Contrast that with Brahman, which represents the ultimate reality, the absolute, undivided, infinite truth. This entire text is essentially a journey from the fractured, broken perception of Brahm to the unified reality of Brahman. Section 2. The Pitcher and the Ocean. How perception creates false boundaries. So, the source material uses these incredible, vivid physical metaphors to expose exactly why we see boundaries that, well, aren't actually there. It brilliantly compares two states. Whatever water is inside a pitcher, the gagar, is exactly the same as the ocean, the sagar. In fact, the text has the ocean itself declare, "I too am sometimes a pitcher." You see, human perception relies heavily on identifying the container. When you look at a pitcher full of water, your brain immediately says, okay, that is a distinct, separate object. But the water inside is identical to the vast ocean. Our perceived individual forms are really just temporary boundaries holding the exact same universal essence. And the poem takes this exact same concept and applies it directly to us. It equates the human body, the kaya, to simple clay, the mitti. Think about it. The ultimate reality is basically just playfully rearranging the exact same elements. So why does human perception create an illusion here? It's because our eyes have evolved to recognize a specific, temporary arrangement of clay, a human body, as a permanent, separate identity. We obsess over the shape of the sculpture, completely forgetting that, at the end of the day, it is literally all just the exact same mud. Which leads to this truly beautiful realization in the text. It says that this ultimate truth, this divine reality, is actually a hidden secret that is revealing itself every single moment. It resides right there, in the heart. But the poem points out this fatal flaw in how we perceive things. The mind is just too slow. The mind is always lagging slightly behind, totally bogged down by its habit of labeling, categorizing, and separating every single thing it encounters. By the time the mind finally tries to grasp the truth, the moment is already past. Section 3. The Deception of Time. The shifting nature of now. Now, it's not just physical space and matter that our brains slice up into little pieces. It is time itself. Look at how the text maps out the timeline of our lives. We perceive a morning brought by the sun. We perceive this constant shift from day to night, from light to dark. We feel like our individual fate is just continuously shifting from moment to moment. Human perception literally requires linear time to function. We need a past, a present, and a future just to make sense of what we're doing. But the text challenges this entirely. It frames light and dark not as different times, but merely as different visual arrangements of a single, unmoving reality. The real kicker is perfectly captured in this line. Time says, "I am continuously present." So while our localized, super limited human perception is frantically watching the sun go up and down, feeling like fate is tossing us around second by second, time itself is static. It's omnipresent. The illusion of a timeline is honestly just our brain's way of processing the overwhelming, infinite nature of now. We literally invent the passage of time because we cannot mentally handle eternity. Section 4. Experiencer versus the experience. The illusion of action. Okay, now we're hitting the psychological core of the text. It totally deconstructs the human ego. The speaker in the poem goes through this profound evolution. Step 1. Believing I am performing actions. Step 2. Believing I am having experiences, which the text notes is actually the root cause of fear. But step 3, this is the massive breakthrough.
realizing that you are not having an experience. You actually are the experience itself. The perception of an isolated self sitting inside your head, looking out at the world, is the ultimate illusion. To really drive this home, the poem hits us with a pretty humbling reality check. We walk around completely driven by ego, thinking we're the doers of our deeds, constantly acting and reacting to things. But the text reveals that while you think you are doing the acting, Brahman, the ultimate reality, is the one actually keeping the account. The individual ego falsely takes credit for the script, completely ignoring that the universe is the one orchestrating the entire play. I want you to really stop and ask yourself something. The text describes this moment where the speaker becomes terrified of everything they're observing. But that fear completely vanishes the very second they realize they aren't a separate observer. When human perception stops drawing a hard line between the watcher and the world, anxiety dissolves. Because think about it, how can you feel the universe when you are fundamentally indistinguishable from it? Section 5. Merging with ultimate reality, the dissolution of the self. So, let's see how all of this builds up to its ultimate conclusion. If the pitcher and the ocean are exactly the same thing, and time is just a trick of the mind, and the ego is totally fake, well, what's actually left? The poem makes this beautifully blunt assertion. I am nothing, and you are nothing. There is only Brahman doing its own work. Human perception demands that you and I exist as separate beings so we can, function in society. But on a universal scale, those individualized egos do not truly exist. The text lays out the final stages of true realization. First, you've got the seeking of this ultimate reality. Then there's total immersion, which the text vividly describes as drowning within it. And the final step is the realization that if you are essentially just a temporary ripple in the eternal ocean of Brahman, then you were never actually born in the first place, and you can never truly die. Birth and death are literally just more illusions generated by our highly limited linear perception of time and physical form. And that brings us to what is easily one of the most powerful paradoxical lines in the whole source material. I am dying to meet my true self. To finally discover the ultimate reality, the perceived individual identity, that ego that human perception fights so incredibly hard to protect, must be absolutely surrendered. The illusion of the self has to die so that the truth of the universal self can actually be experienced. This takes us right back to the beginning, full circle to the opening refrain of the poem. The speaker states they're filling the listener's ears, imparting all this wisdom to make you and me like God. By methodically stripping away the illusions of the pitcher, of the clay, of time, and of the ego, the speaker isn't just explaining reality to us, they're elevating the listener. They are tearing down the illusion of yours and mine to elevate us to that state of ultimate unified reality. So I'm going to leave you with this final, really provocative thought. We've just walked through exactly how and why human perception creates the physical boundaries of space, the linear flow of time, and the entire psychological construct of the ego. But if your form, your time, and your actions are all just elaborate illusions designed by your brain, who exactly is perceiving reality right now? Thank you for exploring this fascinating topic with me. I really hope this explainer has helped you see the world just a little bit differently today.